Hi everyone. I am back with another cooking. I guess this is almost like a baking demo. So today we're doing a vegan, gluten-free cookie dough. And I have a special guest. Y'all already know her. Her name is Ciara. She is actually in Vegas. You're in Vegas right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Vegas right
Okay.
now.
Yay. Last time I think you were in Georgia when we
Mhm.
were chatting, but she owns a business called Sweet Earth. And we chatted before on Instagram. We did a live and we kind of talked about like what it means to even start a vegan business. For anybody who does not know, she bakes, and that's why she's here today because she's the expert in the kitchen.
I
I was
appreciate
kind of
that.
scared. I was kind of scared to do a cooking demo with her because I cannot bake at all. I can cook, but I cannot bake. So she was like, let me do like a really easy recipe. So today we're doing a gluten-free vegan cookie dough, and I'm really excited to learn how to do it. The ingredients are super easy to find in the supermarket. I didn't have to go like to a bunch of different places. So that's a really good thing. But I'm going to kind of give you the platform to walk through the ingredients and tell us like what this cookie dough can eventually be used for.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I'm just gonna kind of show you my little setup here real quick that I got. So I'm gonna adjust here so you can kind of see.
Nice.
So what we have here is we're gonna have some coconut oil. You're gonna have about a fourth cup of that. I have some vanilla flavoring. I have my Himalayan sea salt. I have baking powder. You're also gonna need baking soda. You can use either agave, you can use like a monk fruit sweetener, you can use maple syrup, any like liquid sweetener will work. You're also gonna need like a coarse sugar. So today, just because of the type that I'm making, I'm gonna be using the coconut sugar. But usually, depending on like what kind of cookies I'm making, sometimes I also use like cane sugar, and I like to use the Zolka brand because it's certified vegan.
Mhm.
I also have my one-to-one gluten-free flour here. I use the King Arthur brand one-to-one flour. Sometimes I use the Bob's Red Mill, but this one is usually easier for me to find. And then over here, I just kind of have all like my mix-ins. So I'm gonna be making some cowboy cookies. So I have like some pecan. I have different like size chocolate chips. I have miniature chocolate chips, big chocolate chips, some coconut flakes. I also have some certified gluten-free rolled oats. And then also what you're gonna need as far as your main baking stuff, you'll also need either ground flax, or if you're like me, I tend to use flax in like an abundance. So I also happen to have like flax gel, which also operates as like a flax egg on hand. But either one will work. So that's kind of all the things you need. As far as mix-ins, you'll be able to choose and do whatever you want with it. But I just wanted to show you an option today that I'll be doing.
Nice. Thank you. So I actually have no mix-ins. I mean, I have oats. I don't know if that's I was gonna get chocolate chips, but I couldn't find them. And then I was like, I had sprinkles at home, but I actually didn't have sprinkles. So should I
Yeah.
do like an oat cookie? Do you suggest
You
that?
you totally can, or you can even leave it plain. What's
Okay.
what's really cool about it is that it's a carrier for all the things. So like if you
Mhm.
want to just have a plain cookie, you totally can do that. If you want to add some oats and make it like an oat cookie, you can do
Mhm.
that too. Usually when I do like the oatmeal cookies, what I do is instead of 2 cups of the one-to-one flour, I do half and half. So I'll do 1 cup of oat flour, which you can grind up yourself. Just take your oats and then grind them, and then I'll
Mhm.
do 1 cup of the gluten-free flour, or I'll do like all oat, depending on what kind of cookie it is. Like if it's an oatmeal raisin cookie, I might not
Mhm.
even use any of that. I might just straight do oat flour, but it depends on how fine it is, because
Mhm.
sometimes oat flour, if it's too like coarse, it doesn't
Mhm.
it doesn't have that nice like soft chew or bite to it. So you have to be mindful of that.
Um,
But yeah, I
okay.
mean, you can do what
I
you
think
want.
I'm like, let me see. Let me see what I have. I completely forgot about like the actual cookies. So let's see. I don't even know if these are like I have old fashioned oats. Like, is this gonna do anything?
Yeah. I mean, I don't. You'll have an oat cookie.
It's okay. If anything, I could just make a plain cookie and
Yeah,
then we can see.
yeah,
All
and I
right.
mean, honestly, the thing about it is like it saves, right? So you can like throw it in the freezer, throw it in your refrigerator, run to the store, get yourself some mix-ins. Like let's say you wanted to use it as a like edible cookie dough. I'll show you like a couple of variations to make like an edible cookie dough. So like you'd replace the flax with applesauce. You'd want to heat treat your flour, so you'd want to like microwave it or something to just make sure there's no bacteria. You kill it, and then you would
Mm.
just like exclude the leaveners like the baking soda and the baking powder, and then it's just
Oh.
regular cookie dough, and then you can eat it. And you know that like people love eating cookie dough.
Yeah.
That's not me, but I mean, I, I I like eating like cake batter though. Like
Yes.
I'll peel some cake batter. So same thing, different story. So yeah, I mean, there's options. So
Awesome. Okay, yeah, I definitely love eating cookies though, so I wouldn't mind just eating this.
mhm.
Okay, let's get started. Go slow because you already know me.
Yeah,
So
I got you. No
what are we
worries.
starting with?
So you're gonna start with your flour. So I'm just gonna kind of tilt over here.
Okay.
All right. So we're gonna start with our flour. You need two cups worth of flour.
Okay.
So any all-purpose gluten-free flour. If it doesn't have xanthan gum, you will need to add like a fourth a teaspoon of xanthan gum. If it does, which most of them on there do have xanthan gum, you should be fine. You'll
Okay.
just add it in there. So you're just
So
gonna
you said
pour that
2 cups?
into your bowl. Yep, 2 cups. And
Alrighty.
the thing
So
about
I
this,
got I was
okay.
gonna say I found my gluten-free flour at Trader Joe's, and I was like,
Oh,
okay, cool, not even expensive. I was shocked.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's become a lot more affordable. You know, like
Hmm.
before, because it was on trend. It wasn't the most like being gluten free was really expensive. But now that it's
Yeah,
kind of like, like died down a little bit, and now vegans being the thing, they're like, okay, well, we still want to keep all the gluten free stuff, but we'll like make it affordable for people. So that's
right.
the cool part about it. So yeah, and the thing about this though, is it's really forgiving. You don't have to like how I was telling you before, like I measure certain things. Like when I'm making cakes, I measure out and I like weigh out my stuff. But this,
Hmm.
it's okay if it's a little over 2 cups or a little under 2 cups. It's extremely forgiving. So that's
Okay,
like great
good to
for
know.
somebody like you.
Awesome. All right, I'm ready for the next step.
All right. So the next step, what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a fourth cup of sugar. So it can be coconut sugar, cane sugar. It's gonna be your dry, like your core sugar, not your liquid sugar. You're just gonna,
Okay,
so
I'm
we're gonna do
using
all of
coconut
that.
sugar. This is the first time I'm ever using coconut sugar, so I'm excited.
It's cool because it has like a nice kind of like carameliness to it, which is why I'm using it
Ooh,
today because of the type of cookies that I'm making. It's gonna give kind of like a nice caramel type taste and feel. It's almost like brown sugar. It's really cool.
nice. Okay, so a fourth of a cup of sugar. Got
Yes.
it.
All right. So then from there, we're going to add in a fourth teaspoon of salt. I use pink Himalayan salt. That's kind of my go-to.
Okay, I'll be using the same thing. If I can open it.
So just a fourth a teaspoon.
Okay,
Then we need half a teaspoon of baking powder.
baking powder.
And just make sure that it's level. So with the baking powder, they usually have that little tab on the inside. I just use it to like run it up and make sure that it's level.
Wow, that's what that's for.
Yes.
I learned something new. Okay, cool. I was always like, why is that thing there? Like, I always thought it was inconvenient because I couldn't get like my spoon in it. But there's a purpose. Good to
Yeah.
know.
Little hack for you today.
Yes. Okay.
Then you're gonna take your baking soda. I use a lot of baking soda, so I have like a big old thing of it.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
you're also gonna take half a teaspoon of baking soda and just level it off the same way that you did with your baking powder.
Okay. Let me see if I can get.
Oh, all right.
Alrighty.
And once you've done that, those are all of your dry ingredients.
Okay.
Give it a whisk.
Oh, I need a whisk. Look at that.
A whisk, a spatula, something to get it all together with.
Cool.
You want to make sure that all the dry ingredients are really well combined. And your first step is done.
Yay!
You did. You did.
I haven't failed yet. Alrighty.
Exactly. See? Simple. All right. So now you're gonna work on your wet ingredients. I always make a well in the middle. So what I do is I just kind of like take the whisk and like pull up some of the flour mix on the sides to kind of make like a little, like a I don't know what side to do this on. There you go. It's a little well.
Okay.
So I
Cool.
did that. Then what you want to do is you want to do a little over a fourth a cup of coconut oil. Now, it's hot out here, so my coconut oil was already a little liquidy.
Okay.
If it's not, you just want to microwave it, get it you want it to be a little liquid. And then you're
Okay.
going to use a fourth of a cup and a little bit over of coconut oil. So I just, you can nuke it for like 15, 20 seconds. But once you do that, let it just kind of like chill for a couple of seconds so it's not like too hot. And then
Okay.
you can pour it in.
All right. I'm gonna get another bowl to microwave this in.
Okay.
Okay. You said fourth of a cup.
Yes, ma'am.
Alrighty. Yeah, mine is like almost melted, but not quite.
Yep. I think because the oven stays on here in the test kitchen. It's always I'm always trying to find something to do something to bake. I was trying to add some new cakeys to my list. So I now have snickerdoodle ones. I have red velvet, and I'm trying out one that I'm gonna make for my husband. I don't think he watches these, but just in case he does, I will not say what it is. So yeah, because he's always complaining I don't make anything for him. So I was like, you know what? I got you. I'm gonna make something for you. I don't want to hear nothing.
Right. Okay, let me make sure this is measured. Perfect. Okay, go me. All right. So I'm pouring this in the little well, right?
Yep, you're gonna pour that into your well.
Okay.
And then I like to use that same exact little cup. I don't rinse it out or anything. I use the same cup. It's okay. I use the same cup and I do my sugar in it, the liquid sugar. And the reason why I don't rinse it out is so that way that coconut oil will just help that sugar kind of like just pour right out,
Makes
so
sense.
then I do a fourth cup of that.
Okay. Ooh.
And I'm using agave, but sometimes I like to use the maple syrup. It mostly just depends on what I'm making.
Nice.
But you got options. So
Yeah, I found this at Burlington. It's a maple flavored, sweetened with monk fruit syrup. I have no idea,
okay.
but it's pretty good. I've used it like on pancakes and stuff. So yeah,
That's what's up. Yeah, so it's more like if I'm not mistaken, I believe monk fruit is like an unrefined sugar, just like coconut sugar. So
yeah,
it's like a natural sugar, which is kind of cool.
cool. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It says sugar free, keto. I'm not really sure, but we'll see.
Exactly. So the next thing you're gonna need a tablespoon. And what you want to do is you're gonna take 2 tablespoons of ground flax. I try to get it level, but it's okay if it's not. And you're just gonna put them into some kind of like vessel bowl. Sometimes I do it in a measuring cup, other times I do it in, like just a bowl like this. But you're gonna take 2 tablespoons of ground flax, and then you're gonna take For every 1 tablespoon, you need 3 tablespoons of water.
Cool. So we're doing 6. Oh, you're frozen. Are you back?
Yes.
Okay. I
I
heard.
turned off the Wi-Fi. It wanted to act funky apparently.
That's okay. So we're doing 6 tablespoons of water?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
6 tablespoons of water.
Cool. Yeah, I use flax eggs when I'm making like cakes and stuff. And it works really good. Or I'll just use like applesauce.
Yeah, exactly. That's me. I either use applesauce or I use flax eggs. What I like to do when I know that I'm gonna be making a lot of stuff, so I don't have to deal with it. I'll go get it real quick. So I buy these right here. I buy the whole flax
Mm,
seeds at the 99-cent store. And
yeah.
what I do is like I fill a pot like halfway or a little over halfway with water. I don't measure it. I just pour in flax seeds until I feel like it's right. And then after that, I just let it boil. You have to keep an eye on it because just like like when milk starts to froth over, the same thing will happen with the flax seeds, but they'll kind of have like this little scuzzy, and you just kind of like scrape that off, and then everything
Mm,
under it is like it's called mucilage. So it
okay.
acts and functions the same way as an egg white. It's kind of like a protector for the flaxseed, and so
Oh,
it
nice.
puts the little mucilage, and then you can use that as an option for your flax egg. So what I do is I take like a bunch of these. I didn't even use a full half, and then I just boil that down until I get flax eggs, and then I can just use this, so I don't have
Wow.
to always wait on those. But
Nice. That's a great
mhm,
tip. And also, I see those flax seeds at the dollar store all the time. I actually buy
they
those too, and I'll ground them up sometimes.
Yep, they have an abundance of them. It's ridiculous. So
Hmm.
with the flax seeds, the ground flax seeds, if you're gonna do the ground flax seeds, you want to microwave them for like 30 seconds just to get that mucilage kind of moving. If you
Mm.
don't want to microwave it, it's not like it's gonna take any nutrients out of it if you zap it. But if you don't want to microwave it, just use really hot water and then just let them sit for about a good 5 minutes. But I'm baking and I got stuff to do, so I'm like, look, do this, 30 seconds, let's go. So that's what I do.
Okay. Cool. 30 seconds.
So while that's going, you can go ahead and add in, you're going to need a teaspoon, and you're going to add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla.
Okay.
All
Teaspoon
of
of.
this is just going into that well. We haven't mixed anything just yet.
Okay.
All right.
Am I
So it's
stirring it?
yeah, just a little bit, just to kind of mix any like kind of watery bits. And then if you
Okay.
notice it kind of gets a little bit goopy,
Uh,
you're just
Yeah.
looking for it to be just a little bit goopy. It'll seize up the rest of the way since we warmed it up. It'll seize up the rest of the way. That's perfect. So all you're
Okay.
gonna do is pour that right into the middle as well. Now, for me, this is where my gloves come in because I like to get into it. But if you don't want to get into it, you can also just use a spatula. It's kind of at your discretion, you
Okay.
know. You can just take like a little spatula and kind of stir everything in. So I usually start off with a spatula.
Okay.
Right? I stir. It's kind of like fold it all into each other, like so.
Oh, okay.
And then once it kind of gets to a point where I'm like, all right, this spatula's not working for me. That's when I
Mhm.
take my, put my gloves on, and I just get into it. So I just kind of like knead it together.
Wow, this is crazy. I be spending $6 on vegan cookies when I could just make the cookie dough myself.
Exactly. Yep.
That happens so fast. Ooh, I'm gonna show everybody what mine looks like. So it's already like coming into like a ball.
Yep.
I'm so
Exactly.
proud.
I'm so proud of you too. And of course, if you feel like it's too, like, let's say it doesn't feel like it's wet enough or whatever, like, you can always add in, like, sometimes if I need to, I'll add in a little extra flax. Or
Okay.
you can add in a little extra coconut oil just to kind of get it, right where you need it to be as far as like smoothness is concerned.
Hmm.
Eee. Just gonna pour one of those in there. Come on, egg. Eee. There we go.
I've never like microwaved my flax egg before, so that's really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
I'll definitely do that from now on.
It makes it that much easier for you. Just
Yeah.
one less step. You could sit there and wait, but the thing is, like, you're usually using hot water anyway to wait for it to gel up. So, like, you can use
Right.
room temperature water, nuke it for 30 seconds, and you're done. Like,
Yeah.
it's right there. So, but that's kind of honestly, that's really it. I'm just gonna put just a little bit more. All right, there we go. All right. I'm just gonna put it in with my hands, mush it all up, and then you have a nice dough.
Wow.
Yep.
This is so
And
cool.
and then if you like yours a little bit more sweet, you can add more sweetener. This is kind of just to keep it like it's like I like the way I like my cookies is I don't want them to be like overly sweet, I
Mhm.
want whatever because you're gonna add stuff into it too, right? And those things are
Right.
also gonna have sugar and stuff. And if you have like all of these really sugary things, you're gonna bite into it, you're like, cool, because it's just so cloying
It's
and
a
sweet.
lot. Yeah.
hmm So I like to keep this is like that's why this is like a really good base because you're not overdoing it with like way too much sweet. So once
Right.
I do this, like this is done, right? So then
Mhm.
usually what I'll do is I'll take half of it and I'll like chill it, right? So I'll just like wrap up half of it.
Okay. I'm gonna get some. Can I use like a parchment paper or
Yeah,
aluminum foil or something?
you can.
Okay.
You can also like you can put in like a Ziploc bag. Um, if you have plastic wrap, you can plastic wrap it. Just
Is
something
it
you want to make sure that it doesn't get too much air into it, so it doesn't like get all crusty.
okay? Because I was gonna say, can I put it in a container? But it's probably
Yeah,
best to wrap. Oh, okay.
no, you can because once you put it in a container, it's airtight. You just want
Yeah.
to make sure whatever you put it in, there's gonna be enough seal where there's not like a bunch of air getting into it. That's gonna make it go hard.
Okay.
Yeah, and a trick for if it does, like let's say you wrap it right, and it does like you put it in the refrigerator and it goes a little bit hard. Same way
Hmm.
how we nuke the flax, you can do the same thing. You can like nuke it for like 15 seconds, and it'll get all nice and soft and buttery again.
Ooh, this is so cool. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this one in the freezer later, and that can just be like my dough for when I want to make cookies.
Exactly.
That
And
is
so
so easy. Like I'm shooketh right now.
yes. Yeah, and it's really cool because like let's say you wanted to do like a sugar cookie, right? So if
Mhm.
I'm doing a sugar cookie, I'm not gonna use coconut palm sugar because it's too dark. So I would probably use like a vegan white sugar or I'll use
Mm.
like I'll use the cane sugar, but I don't want it because I don't want it to like darken it too much.
Right.
And then instead of like I'll still use the liquid but I'll also like double up instead of using like a cup of sugar, a
Mhm.
fourth cup of cane sugar, then I'll use half a cup of cane sugar, and then I'll still use a fourth a cup of the agave because it's a sugar cookie. You want it to have that
Right.
sugary sweet to it, and then right before I cook them, I roll them in a little bit of sugar. Boom. You can do the same
Nice.
thing and make snickerdoodle cookies. All you're gonna do if you want to make snickerdoodle is when you're doing your dry ingredients, add a little bit of cinnamon sugar. You can also do it after. You
Ooh.
can add like cinnamon sugar after. And then same thing, like on a paper plate or whatever, you just roll some cinnamon, you just roll it in some cinnamon sugar, make a little ball, pat it, oven 350 for like 6 minutes. Cookies.
I'm gonna do that. I think I'm gonna do that after we jump off because I do have cinnamon. I can make like a cinnamon sugar. Oh, I'm excited. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna. I love the Simple Truth like vegan cookies, but usually like I only buy them when they're on sale for like 2 for $5. But shoot, I made this in like 5 minutes.
And
I
I
can
know
just
for
do this.
some people, like aesthetics, like, oh, I don't want to see the little specks of flax, which is why I have like the regular flax egg. But then, like, let's say
Mm,
you're somebody and you do not use flax. Like I had one lady who purchased something, and I think for like religious reasons, she wasn't able to use flax.
okay.
So I made hers with applesauce. You can do applesauce, you can do banana, you can do. There's so many
Nice.
other different things that bind it together. So I
Yeah.
typically do
I've heard
applesauce.
people, yeah, applesauce is good. I've also heard that people use like pumpkin puree or
Mhm.
like sweet potato puree. Have you
Yep.
tried that before with like
I
these kind of
have.
cookies?
The only thing is, it's obviously going to have like a pumpkiny flavor to it.
Yeah.
So just make it something like when I did use pumpkin, I made like, I called them pumpkin doodle. So they were like
Mm,
pumpkin spice cookies. So I used, instead of applesauce or flax, I used the pumpkin in replacement, but then I added some more spices to it. So I added like ginger and cinnamon and
ooh.
nutmeg. And then I rolled it in cinnamon sugar. So it was like a snickerdoodle, but pumpkin. So pumpkin doodle. And
Yeah, that's cute. That's
yeah,
so good for like October, November. Everybody loves.
exactly. You can
That's
make, I
awesome.
mean, you could even like, let's say you wanted like a chocolate cookie, right? You could take
Mm,
maybe like a fourth of the flour away and
mm.
add cocoa powder. Or like, let's say you
Ooh.
already made it and you're like, dang, but I want them to be chocolate. All you have to do is take your cocoa powder, add a little bit of water to it, and like hot water, and let
Mm.
it bloom. So what'll happen is it'll kind of become like a, like not really a syrup, but like real liquidy. And then you can pour
Yeah.
that into it and then mix that into it. And now you got a chocolate cookie. Add your chocolate chips.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was wondering because I'm like, okay, this is cute, but I also have cacao powder, well, no, cocoa powder on the cabinet, so that'll be good. I also
Mm-hmm.
want to do like confetti, like with sprinkles kind of cookie. So I would just like
Yeah.
mix it in and same
Yep.
thing, right?
You could just mix it
Oh.
in. You could even just like roll it into a ball and then roll them into the sprinkles. And so when it bakes, it'll just
Mm.
have the sprinkles on the outside. I mean, that's why I call it my crazy cookie dough, because like literally you could
You can
put
do anything.
anything in this. Like I use it, and I'm gonna make the cowboy cookies. So cowboy cookies, all it is you use like chopped pecans, right? So I throw my
Mm.
chopped pecans in there. I'm gonna do. I have like a caramel that I made, like a homemade caramel. So I throw like a homemade
Ooh.
caramel in there. Here, I'll show you. There we go. Y'all see that? Yeah. So I
Yeah.
throw like homemade caramel in there. And then I throw in some, like, I make sure that they're certified gluten free. I put the rolled oats in there. Then I add in some coconut shreds, the sweetened ones. You don't have to do
Ooh.
sweetened ones, but I just add a little bit of coconut shred in there. And then the last thing I add in there is some chocolate chips. So I do a mix of like big chocolate. I use semi-sweet vegan chocolate chips.
Mm.
So I do like a mix of like big chocolate chips and small chocolate chips.
Nice.
And I'm not skimpy with my mixing, as you can tell.
Yes.
I want to make sure every bite has like something in it.
Hmm.
And then what I also like about this is like you really can't over mix it. Like because it's gluten-free flour, it doesn't like get all hard. Like like when you use like regular flour, the more you tend to it, the tougher it kind of stiffens up. But because it's
Hmm.
gluten-free flour, it doesn't really do that. So it doesn't get any stiffer. It just kind of stays the same, which is really cool. So then I just, go in and mix everything into it.
Ooh. And what did you call these cookies?
These are cowboy cookies.
Nice. I
Yeah,
love it.
at my old job, we used to make these. When I used to work at I guess it wasn't really assisted living, but like senior living place.
Hmm.
And every Friday we'd make cowboy cookies, and they would like line up. They'd be like, "You're ready for the cowboy cookies?" I'm like, "Oh, I've never heard of these. This must be good." And then the chef at the time, she taught me how to make them. They're freaking delicious, and I was like, "Yep." So these are like my go-to cookies. So
I
then,
just saw that we do have some questions. It was from a while ago, but and you might have mentioned this already, but somebody asked what type of salt were you using again?
it's the pink Himalayan salt. You
Okay.
just get it. Yeah, I get it at either Dollar Tree or 99-cent store.
Yeah, same here. It's the same exact one that I have. And somebody else asked if you were to use applesauce instead of flax, what would the measurements be? Still 2 tablespoons?
So
Or
if you're
question
gonna
mark?
use applesauce, so the equivalent would be 6 tablespoons because each flax egg it's counting for one egg. So one egg in applesauce would be 3 tablespoons. So you'd still need 2 eggs, so you need 6 tablespoons of applesauce. And you
Got
can
it.
always gauge that because I know sometimes when you scoop, you might have like it's probably not going to be like a perfectly straight scoop. So what I would do is I'd do the one egg first. Like I just do 3 tablespoons first, right?
Mhm.
Mix it up, see how it acts. If it's still like really stiff, then you're gonna want to add a little bit more into it because you don't want it to be like really, really stiff. You want it to be like not necessary. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's not gonna be like a loose batter.
Mhm.
So you want to probably do start off with the three, mix it together, and then just add 1 tablespoon at a time until you get to like either a consistency more like this or like a little more loose, depending on what kind of cookie you're making. Like if you're making like drop cookies, you probably want a little more loose of a cookie dough because
Mhm.
you're just gonna pick it up with your. I'll just show you. Your you have like your little cookie scoop, you're just gonna cookie scoop it and then you're just gonna plop it on. And then because it's a little looser of a dough, it spreads out a little better versus the ones where you like roll and pat and then they kind of spread. So, you know,
Mm.
it's really it's trial and error basically.
Yeah. No, I definitely am excited to try like different versions of this of these cookies. And you said so if somebody did want to eat it raw, they could eat it raw at this stage?
You can but you want to leave out a couple of things. So
Okay, because you said something
um
about the flour, like microwaving it. Okay.
yeah. So when you do it, right, you want to make sure if you're using it as like a raw cookie dough to eat, you want to make sure that you heat treat the flour. Heat treating just kills it and like make sure any bacteria that's possibly there is killed because the thing about flour is it can be like a breeding ground for things. But usually you're baking it, you're cooking it, you're doing anything that would kill off or stave off any bacteria. If you
Mhm.
just make the cookie dough and just eat it without heat treating it, there's a possibility that you could become sick. So what you do is you microwave it in 30-second increments. You do it like maybe like a minute to a minute and a half, and it just makes sure that the flour gets cooked. Then
Mm.
you let it cool down, and then you go about your business. And that just makes sure that it's safe to eat. You know,
Yeah, good
you're
to
not
know.
worried about raw eggs, so that's good.
Right, no salmonella, but
Yeah.
awesome. No, yeah, that's good to know. And then I think you said you wouldn't use like the baking soda, baking powder, right?
No, because those are leaveners. That's to make sure that your
Right.
cookies rise. You're eating the dough. You don't, unless you plan on using that dough to also then cook, then you could put
Mhm.
them in there, but it's not necessary, especially that baking soda, because
Right.
uncooked baking soda is probably, I don't know, it might have a taste to it. I mean, like, don't taste like nothing, but I
Right.
think it would taste better if you didn't have it in there because, it's baking soda. It's a little salty. And you're like,
Mhm.
a bit better. But, you know,
Yeah.
that's something to think of. This is actually really freaking good. But still, that's it's not a problem. I would say that the only other thing is if you're going to just eat it raw, I would probably use something other than flax, unless like, because I mean, you don't want to ingest large amounts of flax. It makes you
Mhm.
gassy. right?
Mm-hmm.
So just like if like fenugreek, it makes you really gassy and you don't want to like be eating that about a pound and tooting all over the place. So
Right.
I use, if I'm gonna use it as like a if I'm gonna use it for like actual like eating up cookie dough, then I would probably use applesauce, or like depending on what you're making, you could even do like mashed banana or something. But something that's gonna be a little more mild and
Mm-hmm.
not, because the thing about the ground flax too is you're gonna have that little bit of ground upness in it. But that's fine when you're just
Right.
eating cookie. But when you're eating
Yeah.
cookie dough, you want that nice smooth, like, ooh yes, cookie dough. So
Yes.
things to think about.
So another question. So when you're actually making the cookie, can you tell us again, like what you're like preheating your oven to, how long you're baking them?
Yeah, so I put my oven at 350, 350, 180 degrees Celsius, or the fourth notch, depending on if you have a gas burner or not. Um, you're gonna put them in for anywhere between 6 minutes to 8 minutes. I usually, if I'm doing like smaller cookies, they're definitely more on the 6 minute side. If I'm doing them
Mm.
and I'm kind of making them a little larger, I'll probably get closer to 8 minutes. Um, you'll be able to smell them,
Mm. Okay.
for sure. So, just be mindful of that. But then also, the thing about it is like, for me, I know that like this oven is like temperamental. And so
Mm.
sometimes 350 is really like 375. So, just be mindful of your oven. But I always do 350, 350, 6 to 8 minutes.
Okay.
Um, yeah,
Cool.
that's really that. I also, for these, usually what I like to do, I'll show you. I'll be right here.
Awesome. Yes, Jody said I'm so excited to try these. So am I. Like I'm ready to bake them. And I'm hyped like that it was so easy, you know. This was kind of like when I learned how to first make pancakes and then I realized like dang, I don't have to be buying pancake mix at the store. Like I could just make it at home. This is another one of
It's so
those.
easy. So I like to, one of the things that I sell is I sell cookie donuts. So it's
Mm.
the same dough, right? And then all I do is I take my little former, and then I
Yeah.
make cookie donuts. And so all it
Oh.
is, you're taking the same dough, right? So I'm gonna put on my gloves and show you. I've been saving this one for myself, so excited because it's double chocolate. So that's why I like to keep this dough just a little bit more on the not so like loosey goosey side, because I know that's how I'm going to be forming it. But what I do is I take some of my dough, right? I just kind of ball it up in my hand, and then I roll it into like a log, kind of a log shape, like that. And then what I do, let me make sure I move this so you guys can see it. So then what I do is I just take that little log and then I just press it into my like little former. And so this is how I make my cookie donuts. I just use my same cookie dough, and then I press it, and then I would do the same amount of time. I would put them in the oven, 350, 6 to 7 minutes. Also, that time is depending on how you like your cookies. If you like them really soft, go closer to 6. If you like a more crunchy cookie, then you're gonna go for like 8. But then
Mhm.
yeah, I just put this and then it'll puff up a little bit on the top. So you get kind of like this little ring that you see right here. You get like this little ring that's,
Oh.
if you bake it and it puffs up really nice, then it kind of gets like this little crispy crunch like a cookie, but then you have like that nice softness of like kind of a donutiness. So, you
I
know,
love that.
there's, yeah,
That's so
there's so
cute, and I could picture myself like decorating them really cute on top, like a donut. That's awesome.
Mhm. Yep, exactly. So
I
that's
love
that's
it.
that's what I like, because I don't like to do all the things, like regular cookies are great, but like who doesn't love a cookie donut,
Right.
who,
Yes, it's
who
like two
really
in
has a
one.
cookie donut?
But yeah, so tell us a little bit about for anybody who does not know or didn't tune into the last live you and I did. Just tell us a little bit about your business, how we can find you, support you. I know you're in Vegas, so if people are interested, like just let them know how they can contact you.
Yeah. So, as far as Right now we have our Etsy shop open. We've been revamping our website. So we've moved from our old platform just because we were missing orders and things were kind of getting like caught up in the crosshairs. So we've just updated to a new platform called Kite. And that's where we do like all of our local like orders and stuff through. Um, and then we also sell directly through our Instagram shop. And so our Instagram is at Sweet Earth LV. So you can actually go directly onto Instagram and you can shop our Instagram site right there and, buy things and either ship or we deliver and do pickup here in Las Vegas. I've been doing this now. It has not come up on a year, but I am coming close. I am about 2 months away from doing this for a year, which is just like mind blowing to me already.
Yeah.
And it's been going really well. But yeah, we sell as far as like local, we do we do cakes, we do cupcakes, these cookies, cookie donuts, all the things. You can also if you order through like our Etsy shop or whatever, we have cake jars now, which are really, really popular, and I like them. They're one of my favorite things to make right now. And then we also have like our cookie donuts and our cakeys and all of that stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's for me, it's just the biggest thing that I wanted to do was try to bring vegan treats to kind of everybody. Like, so that's why I offer things like gluten-free, and it doesn't cost any extra to get like a gluten-free item versus, something with flour. My intended goal is to try to make every item that I offer top 8 allergen friendly by like June 1st. So that way, no matter who's ordering it, it's going to be something that anybody can enjoy. That is still a challenge. I'm still working on it, but it excites me to know that I'm getting closer to it. So yeah, Facebook,
Yes.
Sweet Earth LV, Instagram, Sweet Earth LV. So
I love it. We had that conversation last time. We talked about like just, catering to people who have allergies. And I feel like at this point, like if businesses aren't doing that, they're missing out on money and customers. So I love that you don't charge additional for that. The worst thing is like going to a vegan restaurant and then finding out you have to pay like $4 extra because you want a vegan dish or, baked goods. So that's
exactly.
awesome. And I love that you do that. But yeah, if anybody is interested in learning more about Sierra's business, you can definitely go to our Instagram page. We have the old interview that we did. I think we did it a couple months ago. And I randomly found you on Facebook. So I'm glad that we were able to connect. And this cookie dough is like super good. I'm excited. I'm actually about to like bake some. So I'll post like an updated picture at the end so everybody can see. But yeah, I wanted to thank you again for coming on and picking an easy recipe because me and baking, but I'm glad that I could do this. And maybe now that I passed level 1 in the future, we can do something a little bit, more challenging, or we can have you just do it and I'll be like, the host.
That's fine too, whatever works. Yeah, let me know how your cookies come out. Like I said, if you want them to be more like drop cookies, you can add a little bit of extra flax in there, or you can add some applesauce or something. Maybe bake off a couple, see how you like it, and work at it. I will say that keep in mind they are gluten free, so they're not gonna like spread like your typical flour cookie. So you're gonna have to make sure you pat it down a little bit to give it that spread. Otherwise, you might if you just leave it round, it's just gonna be a little rounded. So,
see, I'm glad you said that because I literally was making balls. So I'm gonna
you want to make the ball, right? But once you make your ball, just push it down a little bit.
Okay, cool. I'm also gonna roll them in cinnamon sugar. So like kind of do like a little cinnamon cookie. But yeah, I'll send you the pictures before I share them. And if anything, we'll share a picture of how yours come out.
Okay. That's fair.
Alrighty. Well, it was great cooking with you. Yeah, if anybody is interested, definitely follow her on Instagram. And I'm sure we'll be back later this year to make something else delicious and vegan. So I hope you all have a great Friday and good weekend. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.